Hello students of class 11, we will do the chapter Constitution from your political science syllabus. This chapter is important for you. This is the sixth chapter from your syllabus. Follow the video carefully and then read the chapter and also write down the notes provided in the PDF along with the video. So follow the video carefully. Let us find out what is an unwritten constitution. A constitution where the fundamental rules regarding the government are not written down in a document is called an unwritten constitution. That is, we do not find any codified document when we talk about a constitution. That is called an unwritten constitution. These kinds of constitution generally develops on the basis of the customs, practices, or the judicial decisions that are taken from time to time. They form a part of the administrative system, or rather we can say they are the fundamental rules regarding the administration or regarding the government of the state. The example of an unwritten constitution is the constitution found in Britain. The unwritten constitution also has some merits and demerits of its own. The merits of an unwritten constitution is first that it is flexible and elastic. That is, the constitution can be easily amended or changed, and it does not require an elaborate procedure for changing or amending the constitution. So it is flexible, it can be easily changed, or it can easily adapt any kind of changes. The second merit of an unwritten constitution is again the same thing, that is, it is suitable for change. There is no recodified document, it can be easily amended, and so it can make room for adjustments or adaptations as required. If there are any changes in the social, economic, or political scenario of a state, then it can be easily accommodated into the constitution. The fourth merit of an unwritten constitution is that it is suitable for emergencies, as it can easily adapt changes, it can easily adapt measures to tackle any changes that are taking place. So it can easily tackle, or it is better suited for tackling or for controlling emergency situations. Another merit of an unwritten constitution, we find that there is no scope for the development of extra constitutional method, because in case of a written constitution we have seen that as it was a codified document, so sometimes extra constitutional methods develop, or rather they develop from time to time. So in case of an unwritten constitution, no such development or no such methods are developed. Again, we find there is another merit of the unwritten constitution, that it is said as it is flexible in nature, it can easily handle or tackle popular discontent. That is, discontent of the people can be easily controlled by an unwritten constitution, because it can always adopt the necessary methods required for controlling such situations or the discontent of the people. So from that point of view, the unwritten constitution has some merits, but it is not completely devoid of any demerit. The first demerit of an unwritten constitution is that it lacks stability. Now, what does it mean when we talk about stability? That is, a written constitution is always considered to be stable because it cannot be easily changed. It is a legal, codified legal document, so it cannot be changed, and as a result, it is called a stable constitution. But in case of an unwritten constitution, we have seen that those who are in power, they develop various conventions, and they become a part of the constitution. So it develops, it changes from time to time, so it is not stable, it keeps on changing, and that is why it is said that it lacks stability. The second demerit of an unwritten constitution is that it is not considered, or it is not given the same position as that of a written constitution. A written constitution enjoys a higher sanctity, or higher what we can say position, the respect that it commands, whereas in case of an unwritten constitution, that sanctity or that place is not, or that position is not enjoyed by the constitution, because it is not a codified document. Second, we have seen that as always a written constitution is framed or enacted by a representative body. That is, the representatives of the people are present in the making or in the framing of the constitution, and as a result of it, it reflects the aspirations or it reflects the desires of the people. In case of an unwritten constitution, there is no scope of such an expression or such reflection of popular aspirations, simply because of the fact that it was not deliberately framed. It had grown or it has grown over the time. So we cannot say that that those elements of democratic principles also we can say, or we can say that the aspirations of the people are reflected in the constitution. The fourth demerit of an unwritten constitution is that it develops autocracy, because as it is not a written constitution, it can be easily changed. What we see that those who are in power, they assume more power. They try to assume more governmental power in the hand, which in turn develops autocracy in the state. So these are the demerits of a written constitution. We have also gone through the merits. And now we will learn about the distinctions between the written and the unwritten constitution. Now we will try to find out the distinctions between a written and an unwritten constitution. If we look at the distinctions or the differences between the two, the first thing that we can say is that a written constitution is enacted by a representative body. As I have told you earlier, it is deliberately framed, that is, it is framed for and when it is being drafted or framed, the representatives of the people are there. But an unwritten constitution has developed over the years, so it cannot claim to be enacted by a representative body. The second difference between the two is that a written constitution is always considered to be definite and stable, as it is a codified legal document. Everything is written down, and it cannot be easily amended or changed, as it is a written constitution. But an unwritten constitution, from that point of view, lacks stability and definiteness, because again it is not a codified document, it has grown over the years. The third difference between the two, we find that a written constitution, as it is drafted or framed by a representative body, it reflects the aspirations or the desires of the people. Whereas in case of an unwritten constitution, it is based on the conventions or the customs practices followed while governing the state. So it does not reflect, or it cannot claim to reflect, the popular aspirations or the aspirations of the people or the desires of the people. The fourth difference is that of sanctity. A written constitution is a codified document. It enjoys a sacredness, or we can say it enjoys a higher position than that of an unwritten constitution, because it is not a codified document. Unwritten constitution is not written down, and so it cannot enjoy the place or the position that is enjoyed by a codified document or by a written constitution. So these are mainly the differences between the written and the unwritten constitution, but we have to keep in mind that a constitution is not totally written or unwritten. When the major part of the constitution is written, we call it a written constitution, whereas in when the most of the fundamental rules are not written, then we call that an unwritten constitution. So today we have done the merits and demerits of unwritten constitution and the differences between the two. In the next video, we will take up another type of other types of constitutions that we find, that is rigid and flexible constitution.